is only one perfect solution, but there are clues that will try to trick our team.
Hello there everyone, my name is Crazy Caleb and welcome to Boozleglyph Identification. In this case, this is the way the module starts off with. It's a needy, as you can obviously tell, and what's going to be happening here is exactly what you think we're going to be doing. We're going to be identifying different types of boozleglyphs. Now, the boozleglyphs originate from a module called Bamboozled Again. However, this needy is actually not made by Speaking Evil, who made Bamboozled Again. This is made by Thaluna. So what we have here is we have a series of 3 different sets of each of these boozleglyphs, and as well as the alphabetical letter that they correspond with on the left side. Now, when this activates, a boozleglyph will be displayed, and we need to submit which letter it corresponds to and which set it's contained in. It's very important that we do that. So let's wait for this to activate. I'm going to simply give it a strike.
Why?
And just like that, the needy activates. It gives you loads of time to do this. It gives you a total of 90 seconds per set. And it's quite simple to do. So what we need to do is we first need to determine the letter, and then we first need to determine which set it belongs to. So the first bit is going to be determining the letter. We're going to simply hit the display afterwards to submit the lower screen. And then what we're going to do is we're going to deactivate this thing. So describing this might be a bit tricky, but in this case, I know a couple of boozleglyphs offhand. This, in this case, is Charlie and set 2. So we're going to submit Charlie, and as you can see, it matches the exact same thing we have here. And now the number pops up, and set 2. And thus the needy deactivates. But a way that people like to describe the boozleglyphs is they like to do a form called the binary method. And in this case, let's take a look at the Charlie we just had. Now, the way that the binary method works is essentially what you're going to do is you're going to treat this as sort of like a 4x4 grid of characters. In this case, a 4x4 grid of almost like dots and dashes in a way, or just a 4x4 grid of cells. In this case, was what I'm looking for. So in this case, this one will be referred to as 111 half. I'm going to simply mark this with a 2. For the sake of this tutorial. But normally what you would end up doing is you'd end up doing like some sort of Excel work or something like that, or some spreadsheet work, and marking this as such. Now, in cases where it's not filled, you simply say 10 half 1. Then what we would do is we do 1 half 1, and then 1 half 1. And what you would do from this is you would try and find this sort of set. Now, obviously, this is not the most efficient way of doing this. But it is possible to describe it on your own as well. You could say maybe there's like a pencil on the inside that's going up to the top left. Again, I'm not really sure you would describe boozleglyphs efficiently. You can find your own way of describing them, or just simply know them like a good username. That's all there really is to it. So I'm going to now solo this Minesweeper, and let's wait for the sequence to reset. The nice thing about this needy is that it does give you a load of time for when it activates and deactivates. The one nice thing about this needy is that it gives you plenty of time to do work and then potentially have to come back and identify a boozleglyph. So in this case, this one is a diagonal line going from top left to bottom right, and there's sort of a square in the background of it that you can see. And in this case, this one corresponds to a Lima in set 2 as well. So let's go mark over to Lima. Let's hit the center. Let's hit the lower screen. And it's going to be in set 2, and we're going to simply deactivate the module. And there we go. And that's all there really is to this. That's all there really is to this. So now let's solo Minesweeper. Second digit is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boy perp. So 1, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. And I will now pop off. I'm going to do one more example. I'm going to hold off on solving this until we get one more needy activation real quick. But that's all there really is to this mod. That's pretty straightforward. There's not much else to say about it, other than the fact that you're just identifying boozleglyphs, and to be honest, it's needy. It's one of the more generous ones that's considered to be a bit tricky and actually have some sort of expert input, expert side sort of deal. Whereas, for example, with beer, you wouldn't have expert sides. And in this case, it gives you very generous amounts of time between each activation. So that's like one of the best things about this DD, is that it is very generous, which I can appreciate. I'm going to wait for just a moment because I think I'm definitely getting really close to solving it. I know that this needs to be marked with a flag. I think that this is the last spot, so I'm going to leave it be for right now. We'll wait for the needy to activate one more time, and then we will simply close it down. Okay, so here's our last example here. We happen to have, it's almost like a mic, but with a diamond at the top of it. if you can kind of see that, or like a diamond with 2 legs, for example. And the top left and top right bits are not filled. A very weird description, I must admit, but I have a creative imagination, so don't worry about it. So let's take a look for it. That's a whiskey. Whiskey in set 1. So we're going to mark whiskey. We're in whiskey and in set 1. And just like that, let's solve the mod. And there we go. That's all there is to this mod. There really isn't much else to say about it. You can simply describe a Boozleglyph. It's a great needy because of the fact that it gives you loads of time in between activations, and it gives you a load of time in the activation itself too. It gives you 90 seconds to identify the Boozleglyph, which in itself is not that hard when you only have 3 sets compared to the 5 in Bamboozled again. But the only reason why there is 3 sets in this case instead of the 6 that we see in Bamboozled again is because of the fact that there are duplicate symbols in this case, as you can see in all of these different sets. There's 2, I believe, that occurs for each letter, for example. So as you can see, there's sets of 3, sets of 3, sets of 3, and they do correspond with everything we just had, I think. Foxtrot? Yes, they do. Yep. So it's basically the same thing, just we're condensing it down into 3 sets. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to stay crazy, stay cool, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.